Hello guys, welcome back to this YouTube channel. So today I'll be talking about Euro USD. So here in the 4 hour time frame, we are very bearish, like we have bearish market structure. Have price making lower highs and lower lows. And last week or last 2 weeks, we had this to be our supply range. This wasn't, and we say we wanted to see price pull into this whole range or maybe to the bottom of this entire range and then continue down. So, and last week price did just that, and we saw price push up into the supply range, and like we have the supply range here, price pushed up into the range, and then we have this continuation downwards. So before price pushed into this range, we had like some kind of bullish market structure going up. Like we had the break of structure here, and we have price pulling back here, confirming this break of structure with another another higher high here, like another break here. So, and for some weeks, maybe 2 weeks or three, I don't really know how long, but for some weeks we were trading within this range, like price was just trading within this range. And we did take some really nice trades, like within this trade, but I think I can still remember the buy I took somewhere here. So now, if we look at it from this structure, we can say that this was our low, like. Because now we had this to be like a break structure here, price pushing up, breaking the structure here, and this now price pulling back, and then we have another push up again. We give us another break structure, price pulls back into this demand zone, and then we have another push up here, breaking the structure. So we could say that we are working within this high and this low, which is why I had this circle here, this semicircle here. That was the reason why I put it there, because I was just noting that this is actually my trading range on the 4 hour. And since this is our trading range on the 4 hour, since this low here and this high is our trading range on the 4 hour, we can say that this low here is our last higher low. So until price breaks this low, we are still bearish. Sorry, we are still bullish based on the 4 hour time frame market structure. But we know that from the daily time frame we are bearish, but on the 4 hour we are bullish. So for us to take a trade, or for us to say that we have a high probability trade, we can look to see the 4 hour time frame align with the daily time frame. That's we want to see the 4 hour structure change from being bullish to bearish, which is the same structure as that on the daily time frame, because daily time frame is bearish. So we want to see the 4 hour structure also become bearish before we maybe look for sales. But sometimes when we wait for those trades, like when we wait for price to pull back, like for me, it makes sense to actually wait for it, but sometimes we become impatient and then we just try to like look for a way to get in on the trade, like just get on the trade even without getting that break of structure. So last week on the outlook I gave last week, I say that since we have something like this, we have this break of structure here, and now we are tapping into this daily supply range. So I say that since we are inside this daily supply range, this price could hold this supply range here could hold price and push down to complete that daily market structure, which is something like wanted to see price make a lower low on the daily. So price pulling back into this supply range might be where we could maybe look at those sell trades or those shorts to take out this daily low. And I said, and since our last lower high is somewhere down here, like for before price would get down to this place, maybe the week would be over. So I talked about using a shift in market structure as maybe a reason to take sales because we've mitigated this daily supply zone and then we now have some kind of shifts in market structure here. Like we have some shifts in like this high here. Doing this. We can say that these are shifts in market structure. And on the previous outlook I did for Euro USD, which was the one I uploaded last week, I said that when we have a shift in market structure, like let me say we were initially bullish, we had a great construction, and now pulling back, we get a shift in market structure. So I said that once price breaks and closes below here, we can't really say that giving us a shift in market structure and maybe this internal break here. We can't really say that is well, we can't really say that this is a break construction. The only time we can maybe say that okay, we could be bearish now is if we have a shift in market structure, price breaking this low and then pulling back and respect the low, forming some kind of lower high here, forming some kind of lower high here. We can only call this high our lower high if it pushes down and makes a new lower low, so breaking the previous structure. So we can say that okay, now price is bearish even without price breaking this main structure low here. We can say that price is bearish because now we have a lower high here, lower low. We now confirm that lower high and this previous lower high. We just confirm the previous lower high with a new lower high and lower low. So we can confidently take a trade here and then still target maybe a supply zone. Maybe if you think price will still continue up or target the low entirely. Like just depends on where you feel comfortable targeting. So that's what I was talking about last week. So last week the thing is we didn't really have a significant pullback based on the structure we had last week on Euro USD. We didn't really have a significant pullback, but it's just like it's almost played out as I planned it because we had the break of structure here. Price pulled back somewhere around here. You can decide to call this your pullback, or maybe you can say this is a single push. It all depends on how you want to look at price, but I'll be looking at it as some kind of pullback and then price breaking that low again, making a new lower low somewhere here. So if price pulled back maybe into this supply here, then I could have looked for sales to take. But with that being said, since we didn't really wasn't really very clear, like it wasn't really defined the way I wanted to see it, but that's just how that's what price does. Like it won't always be clear. So here we have a break construction here. I have this to be our last area of supply before the break construction. So we just mark it out as one of our supply range. So this is like a range I'll look forward to trade from going into next week. So it's like one of our supply range. Then maybe we can also decide to refine it to this particular engulfed candle here. So okay, these are supply zones. So we want to maybe take trades from here. We also have another range up here. So now we have a break of structure on the 4 hour, But that does not mean, like, yes, we have like a bearish break, sorry, a bearish break in market structure. So price kind of like bearish now, but that does not mean the bearish structure on the 4 hour time frame is confirmed. But the only reason why we even want to take a sell here is because we have a confirmed bearish structure on the daily time frame, but the structure on the 4 hour is not confirmed yet. The only time we can confirm this this break of structure here, the only time we can say that yes, we now have a confirmed bearish structure is if price pulls back maybe into the bottom of the range or maybe to this refined range here and then makes a new lower low. That's the only time we can say that we have a confirmed bearish structure. Then we can confidently take trades from somewhere here. But we all know that maybe for price to even do that, price might want to come down to this level before even pulling back. Like we don't really know where price is going to pull back from. Like we don't know where price will pull back from. So we just wait and see how everything plays out. And to be very honest, if price pulls back here, I won't even look for that confirmation. I'll just study the lower time frame and see how they align together with the higher time frames and then take trades like in whichever direction. So that's it for the 4 hour structure. So here, since we have a 4 hour break in market structure here, have a break in market structure here, so we can say that okay, after a break in market structure, we will get a pullback before the continuation. So there's a possibility that price might want to pull back before going for this daily low, which we have here, this line here, this horizontal line. So we can say that the 4 hour time frame will most likely pull back before continuing that, before going to take out that daily low. And it's really something I would love to see because I don't really want to see price pushing all the way down here. I think if price does that, there won't be much opportunities for me. Well, I don't really know, but we'll see how the week develops. So going down to the 15-minute time frame, just to see if there's anything here in the 15-minute time. So we know that if the 15-minute time frame is going to, if the 4 hour time frame is going to pull back, as I said, the 4 hour time frame is going to pull back to this maybe supply or the bottom of this range, the 15-minute structure will most likely break because we have a bearish 15-minute structure here. So if the 4 hour is going to pull back, we'll get a break on the 15-minute structure, and then we can look to take the trade when price pulls back or wait for the confirmation. So we should be somewhere here and then take the trade to target maybe this supply, the bottom of the range here, or this refined supply. So let me just move the chart up. We'll say that consider this our last lower high here. So if price breaks above this high, because we have this. If price breaks above this high, then we can maybe look for a demand range somewhere here. Then look for 1 minute entries somewhere within that. If this happens, if price breaks this high, or we can then wait for price to confirm this bullish break because maybe I will just take the trade when price goes back, but most of the time I really love seeing that confirmation, like it adds some kind of confidence to my trading. So I really want to see that confirmation higher low, and then I'll take the trade when next price goes back. So that's how I'll be applying it. But if price maybe going into one day, that's tomorrow, if price decides to respect the 15-minute structure, then we just take trades from supply zones here, but we'll see what happens. So I think that will be it for Euro USD. Is always very the same to what we had last week, just like a continuation of last week's outlook. So I also want to talk about a trade I took on Euro USD last week. So yeah, I took two trades on Euro USD last week, and it wasn't, they were just like break-even trades and then some partials. So here on the first, I think we have Monday. This was on Wednesday. We have Monday here. I didn't really get any opportunity on Monday, Tuesday, no opportunity, and then Wednesday I got two trades from. So we just break even on partials, no loss. I took the loss on pound USD. So here on the 15-minute time frame Euro USD. So I was looking at this as some kind of break construction, which was price reacting to this extreme supply here. It's extreme. It is a 4 hour zone. So I had price reacting to it and then price pushed all the way up on Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday New York session price pushed all the way up, breaking the structure here. So I was looking at this. I know that we've broken structure, we've broken the structure. So I was looking at this as some kind of higher high, and I just wanted to maybe take a trade, like just take a sell. So honestly, I was looking at taking out this low because we have some kind of equal lows here, and since I think one of the mistakes I did was I already fixed myself on taking out this low because of the daily structure and how I was looking at price from the daily and 4 hour time frame. So I was already like just want price to come below this low. So that was one of the reasons why I took this sell. So here I also had this as some kind of shift in order flow, like this, some kind of shift in order flow. And since the daily time frame is bearish, I was looking at just saying, okay, the 15 minute is also bearish now, and we have like equal highs here just before this particular zone up here. But I didn't take the trade directly from this zone, so I waited for the confirmation that I normally talk about. So here we have price giving us another shift, another flow here. So like on Wednesday, everything looked very bearish. We had another shift, another flow. And I said, okay, if price pulls back into this engulf candle here, this you can say the engulf candle, or you can add the whole zone. I was like, if price pulls back into this engulf candle, then I will go on the 1 minute time frame and look for a trade. So going over to the 1 minute time frame. So here on the 1 minute time frame, I had this low here to be my last higher low. And then when price broke the low, I was like, okay, I was not looking for the confirmation because I don't like taking trades. Like when, let's say we have a break of structure here, I don't like taking trades on the first pull, but I normally wait for the second one. So price pushed back up into this supply zone here, respected the supply zone, and we had another push down breaking the structure. So now I was like, okay, we now have a lower high and we also have a lower low now. So I was looking at this range here as my supply. I think that was the 3 minutes zone. When it was 3 minutes, that 3 minutes or 5 minutes. Now, what I normally do is when I have like multiple ranges, like I could say this my range. Like when I have multiple ranges, like I just go up a time frame or two, maybe 3 minutes or 5 minutes, and then see if there is any particular candle I could that I can use from that higher time frame. So on the 3 minutes, okay, I think it's on the 5 minutes on board. Also was looking at this particular engulfed candle. Let me show you the 5 minutes. Can't really remember the exact time frame I used, but these are the time frame I normally use. Okay, to the 5 minutes engulfed candle. So yeah, so this is the zone, this 5 minutes candle, it's a 5 minutes engulfed candle here. That's what I use for my entry, and I try to just pull my stop loss. Okay, I think the 3 minute zone, the 3 minute engulfed candle was what I use for my entry, but for like the stop loss placement, I just use the 5 minutes candle, just place it a few pips above the high. So even if I try to enter on this exact 5 minutes, for me it was still okay. Well, I think I used the 3 minutes engulfed candle for my entry. That's the low of that of the engulfed candle. That's what I use for my entry, and then the 5 minutes for my stop loss. Because the structure and the 1 minute wasn't the zones on the 1 minute, but they weren't really clear. So that's one reason why I didn't use them. So that was the first trade, and then how I normally manage my trades are if once I get a break of structure. So let me say price is in my zone here. Anytime I'm in a trade somewhere here, and then once I get a break construction, that's so actually I'm using this. So once I get break construction, as if price breaks this low, like these are like a pullback low. If price breaks this low, that's when I move my stop loss to break even, and then I take my partial, like I partial out my initial risk at 1:5. So I just try to like cover the risk I had initially. That's the amount of money I would have lost if price came to my SM, which is somewhere around 3 pips. So I try to partial that out at 1:5, which was somewhere down here. Yeah, we had this as 1:5. So since I was already risk free and I already partial out my initial risk, like I didn't really have anything to lose. I've already gained 0.5%. So I was like, okay, I could still take another trade. So I was looking at this. That since we had a break construction, we now have another push down. So I was like, okay, if price pushes up again into maybe this zone here, then I could still take a trade. And for me, and it kind of like worked, but I didn't really hit the target there, but at least it wasn't a loss. So I think this was also a 3 minute. Like I just go up time frames to maybe get a specific engulfed candle. So that was a 5 minutes zone. So yeah, so we had this 5 minutes engulfed candle. Had this engulfed candle here. So I just like okay, I'll just set my entry here and stop loss above for somewhere around 4 pips. So now when price pushed down into this low, I took another partials for the first trade. When we had like this price, but this is like a 15 minutes low. So I took another partials. That's for the first trade. And then for the second trade, I already had the break even here. And then at 1:5, I partial out my initial risk. But I didn't really partial out any other thing on the first trade. So that was it for the two trades I took on Wednesday. Somewhere around somewhere around here to get another partial for the second trade and then partial out for the first trade and just let the rest. I really thought it was going to hit the take profit, but that it happened, and that's part of training. So that's it for USD outlook and some kind of recap on the trades I took last week. And I really hope you enjoyed the video. And if you are not subscribed already to the channel, you should do well to subscribe and have a nice trading, guys.